Future Diary is a romantic, supernatural, action, survival horror anime. Yep, that's a lot of genres in one place, isn't it? Kinda like a Neapolitan ice cream, but will it all blend together? Let's see. Future Diary is a 26 episode anime, 10th of October 2011 to April 16th, 2012. Here's a quick summary for you. Yuki is a loner who never really interacts with people and prefers to write diaries on his cell phone, with his only companion being his imaginary friend named Deus Ex Machina, the god of time and space. However, Yuki learns that Deus is not a fragment of his imagination, but real, when Deus makes him participate in a battle royale with 11 others. Within this diary game, the contestants are given special diaries which can predict the future, with each diary having unique features that gives them both advantages and disadvantages. Now, a lot of people said to me, if you like Steins Gate, you will like this. Steins Gate was all about the theory of time travel as well as going through time, whereas here, it's basically don't die. So, before we go through the anime itself, let's look at the two main characters of the series. First we have Yuki. He's the loner child of the series, the main protagonist. He starts out as a weak, lonely boy, but throughout the series becomes more and more involved with the games. He's a very weak character in terms of fighting. He really just uses Yuna as a shield and makes her do all the dirty work. I think he does this so he doesn't feel like a murderer, but really he's worse because he uses people to do the dirty work for him. But when it comes time for him to lay down the law, he will lay it down like a boss, and yes, that is 2 internet memes in one sentence. Huzzah! Yuno is a crazy stalker girl who is, for lack of a better term, head over heels in love with him. She stalks everything he does and wants him all to herself. I mean, seriously, anyone who talks to Yuki is pretty much a target for her to start act rampages again. She is a yandere, or however you say it, and I have to admit, I find this absolutely hilarious. And I don't think I should. I think she was supposed to be, like, unnerving and downright scary, but for me, I can't see her that way. She makes me laugh every time I see her on screen. It's brilliant. She's a very interesting character throughout the series. It seems she has a split personality. One minute she's a very nice, cute girl, while the other she's just a homicidal maniac. This makes us feel on the edge, as we never know when she could just snap and change into this other person. One of the key features of this series is the relationship between Yuki and Yuno. It starts off on a rocky side because basically Yuki uses Yuno as a shield, like I said, to basically kill off the other players and anyone who tries to hurt Yuki. But there are episodes where Yuki and Yuno just sort of hang out and actually develop their relationship. At first, Yuki wasn't really interested in Yuno, but it's nice to see that those two can actually have a relationship despite the whole people are trying to kill us and everything. Their relationship slowly and gradually throughout the series gets more and more deeper. You know, besides the whole Yuki using her thing, there are parts where he sort of fakes to be like her girlfriend, so she won't go on a homicidal maniac, and there are actually parts where she acknowledges that he's faking, but it makes her feel nice, which is kind of disturbing when you think about it. It's like, I know you don't love me, but you will one day. That's weird. But, you know, throughout the series, they become more and more closer, and you can start to see slowly and gradually Yuki actually starts falling in love with her, even though there are parts where he finds something very disturbing about her and yet just freaks out and runs away, but next episode just comes back and says, oh, I love you still. It's kind of weird when you think about it, but still, it's nice to see these two characters come together, and especially at the end as well, you know, like, Yuki just finally admits what he feels, you know. I'm not going to spoil it, but it's kind of obvious and I kind of did spoil it. It's nice to see that these two characters' relationship continues to grow and change, and there's also something in between their relationship as well. Like, Yuno is hiding something from him, you know, and we get a bit of doubt of who she really is and what's her real intentions. Like I said, this is a survival game. Everyone is trying to kill everyone else to be the one and only survivor. So you're always on the edge thinking, is she just tricking him so that she could just stab a knife in his back soon? You never know, so it always keeps you on your toes thinking that she could split any minute trying to go for him. Now, there are a number of side characters throughout this series. I can't really go through them all because they are each vital to the story. Well, a majority of them are. So it would take too much of a time to actually go through them all, plus I'm too lazy to write, so can't be asked. However, I would like to say this. The series does a great job of developing the 12 participants in the survival game, minus one who is pretty much like a taste of what's to come. Each player of the survival game has 2 episodes of development, of who and what they are, what they're like and what their intentions are. Some are developed further and longer throughout the series, and does really keep you on your toes. It makes you wonder when they will die and how they will die, and we can actually feel for these characters when they are killed off, or we can actually feel sorry for them because they feel more like just another body count. They actually feel like a well-developed character. Some will miss, some will don't mind because we hate them that much. It's nice to see that these people aren't just like evil, diabolical people that need to be killed. They are actually well-developed characters that we can see and we feel a bit sad for when they die. Each player has a diary which is unique to them. I found this to be the most interesting part of the series, as it means each player has its own advantages and disadvantages, and you're watching participation how the characters will exploit their weak points in their diaries. It also helps to reflect the character's personality and even makes them stand out and makes them unique. Like, for example, Yuno's diary. Yuno's diary is basically the Yuki diary. Her diary follows everything he does. It also reflects her personality because she's a crazy stalker girl. The series is quite gory. There's a lot of bloodshed and body count throughout the series. That kind of makes sense seeing it as it is a survival game, but the action never gets boring and it gets more and more interesting as it varies from player to player. I never felt the action dragged on. It was that fighting and action were kept to a reasonable length and can get a bit repetitive at times because it's always just like swinging the axe around, but the series does try to keep the action fresh, as each player of the survival game has their own techniques in order to fight back. Like, for example, there's this one terrorist girl who uses bombs against people. You got the detective who's using the police force to get to Yuki or or even that crazy evil cult girl who's using her slave zombie people to catch him down. Now, I have to address something here, and I think if I talk about it, I sort of warn you guys. In this 26 episode series, there are 2 scenes of rape. Yeah. Now, this may turn you off or turn you on if you watch a lot of hentai, but it doesn't feel like a hentai, but you do sort of see it, not like properly. You even hear some like squelching sound effects, which is kind of disturbing, to be honest. Now, I have to say that I have been desensitized, and I really think this will actually get to me and make me feel bad for these characters. And I actually did. I felt bad for these like female characters that were being done this way. So I guess that's a plus, I think, because it got me on an emotional level and I actually feel sorry for these characters. I'm guessing anyway. But I felt like I should warn you because it could be something that you won't like. So I thought, should really bring it up or not? So I did. So sorry about that. Now for some bad points. I don't like how this series doesn't really freak you out. It's supposed to be survival horror, but there's only like 4 disturbing scenes throughout this entire series. I really wish that there was more stuff that I would have found disturbing. Maybe it's because that some of these characters aren't really disturbing, they're just more like homicidal maniacs or anything else, so it doesn't really have the, disturbing parts in it. A lot of the disturbing parts are with but her disturbing scenes are very fair and few. I wish there was more of it. Also, at the end of each episode, you get a little comedy sketch of one of the side characters, which really breaks the flow of the anime, You just watch this like intense scene on a cliffhanger, wondering if who's going to die or not, and then you get this little comedy sketch. It does really break the flow of the anime. It seems kind of out of place, and I really wish they kept it out. It's kind of like having a comedy sketch at the end of like Higurushi When They Cry or some other horror thing. Like having a comedy sketch at the end of Saw. That is out of place. It doesn't help with the flow of the anime, it breaks the flow in that sort of sense. Overall, I think Future Diary is absolutely brilliant anime. For me personally, it's like the top 5 anime of 2011. It's nicely paced, it keeps you wanting more. Seriously, I couldn't wait for the next episode. It kept me on my toes. I was like, oh, what's going to happen next? I really felt like this series was getting better and better each time. There are a few times where it sort of slows down and maybe a little bit filler, but really, besides from that, you really get into it. I also like how this series really well develops these 12 characters and made them each feel unique. They all felt unique and actually felt like they were real characters rather than pointless characters. Say, for example, in Eden of the East, when you heard about those 12 seller scores, whatever the hell they were called, I forgot now, I was wondering what they were each like and what they would actually do, but nope, all we got was like 2 of them. They were sort of developed and the rest kind of felt shoehorsed in. Seriously, it was like, who's this guy? Why is he introduced in the last 2 episodes? Why does he make a difference to the plot? Why is he totally pointless? Why did 89% of the budget go into making that very artsy and yet very pretentious outro when they could have spent the money making the series longer and make it more interesting? Oh, don't worry, children. I'll get to Eden of the East one day. As for Future Diaries, you know what? I was in between an 8 or a 9. But you know what? Screw it. I love this series. I'm giving it a 9 out of 10, which is a 4.5 stars. I think why I was thinking 8 was because of the ending of the series. It is a very, very bittersweet ending to the series, and it may be the killing blow of whether you like this series or hate it. For me personally, I don't think they could have ended the series any other way. It was very well done, although it was kind of stupid when you think about it, but I think it was nicely done and nicely ended. Thank God that there's not going to be a second season, because if they did, they'd just shoehorse it in, like I said. But, yep, that's my review of Fishy Diaries, and see you next time.